Hi, we're here talking to Cmiel and Wolfgang Thompson about the event Musical Textual happening at Saul Joseph Recital Hall on August 21st and 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Why did you guys decide to title it Musical Textual?
On a very basic primal level, this project is the coming together of music and text, and so we couldn't title it textual musical because that sounds like it's a musical, and that is very, very not what we are doing. Because this is very, very different. What we've done instead is found three different poets and chosen to interpret their work in three completely different ways, and to sort of bring these together.
We also want to make sure we want to show that text is just as musical, composition-wise, as music, and I think we're going to show that.
Yes, incredibly.
We have three American poets, women, and yeah, we're going to show.
Yeah, it'll be pretty engaging. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about each different project?
Start with your piece.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So my piece is set to the poetry of Muriel Rukeyser, who's an American female poet, like the entire show, and her poem. It comes from her set Body of Waking, which is really about creativity and the art of creation, what happens. And for her, this is a human experience, and it's something that connects all humans together. So I read this poem, and I had a very spiritual connection to it right off the bat. And so I decided to interpret it in a quasi-ritualistic, quasi-religious manner. So it's for four singers, it's a vocal quartet, and they have handheld percussion instruments to sort of add a little bit of ceremony to the thing.
It's based on acapella,
Yeah, definitely.
which is rare. So
Yeah.
that's a treat on the event.
Yeah,
It's really rare. Yeah.
And then after that, we're doing Elliot Carter, and Elliot Carter is someone that you wanted to do.
Yes, definitely.
So you want to talk about that?
Sure. Elliot Carter is probably one of the prominent American composers, and he's 101, still composing. This piece has Elizabeth Bishop's poetry, which I read them, and I'm just floored how beautiful they are, and I'm floored how Carter treated them with such power.
And one of the really interesting things that we're doing with this project is that Carter chose these 6 poems of Elizabeth Bishop and just sort of put them together in a set. And we sort of found through working on this project that there was actually a connective dramatic thread. And so what we're doing is we're taking this piece, which is normally just a song cycle. You have your soprano standing here singing at the audience while the performers play. And we've added an actress, and we're having the soprano act as well, and we're actually interpreting these poems.
Semi-staging.
Yeah, and this is definitely the first time something like this has been done with this
It's
piece.
usually in recital form, but we're taking it to more of theater, and yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be pretty engaging.
Yep.
And then the third work on the show is by you.
Premiere of Anne, it's a ballet of text, and it's based off Anne Sexton, American poet that should be known, and hopefully when you hear her poetry out loud, you understand how she's very important to the canon of American poetry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
Oh yeah, I mean she's really needs to be known more.
Yeah.
So how did you guys end up coming together? How did you guys meet? How did you guys decide to do this project?
I directed an opera in his hot
Air Music Festival. Yeah, one of the other projects that I do is I organize a marathon concert for the San Francisco Conservatory Music, and
we knew we should work together.
I
we knew
think
in the first conversation we should work together.
we were both kind of interested in exploring more of this avant-garde stuff that we can't do in other venues and things like that. So we just sort of glommed onto each other right away, and
we have a core value that's the same.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah.
And that everything, it's time to push things a little bit further.
So after that festival, we just sort of I think you just called me and said, I have this idea for this project. Actually, I have 20 ideas for 25 projects, so let's just get on
pick
this.
one.
Can you guys give us an idea of what are some of the challenges that have come up while working on Musical Textual?
Do you want to kick that off?
Sure. Precedence. I mean, what we're doing right now, I don't think there is any precedence for it. So
Yeah.
to find reassurance somewhere else, it's not there. We have to rely on our own instincts.
Yeah, we've definitely been looking around a lot for things that have been sort of heading in this direction a little bit before, sort of finding ways of combining these things. And it hasn't been until the last week or so that we've actually really been able to find some of the people who are doing anything at all, even remotely like this. And it's even that is just like steps in the direction that we're going in. But
so
that's
kind of like a little bit of island.
Yeah, we definitely feel a little bit alone out here.
But, but I think that will change.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think after these events and several events will change.
Yeah, it's definitely stuff.
I mean, we'll actually see the correlation between music and text, standing on its own or with music. I mean, it's
visually enacted. Even drama is getting into it in a very, very, very prominent.
Well, we're hitting ballet, opera, theater, and then performance art
And ritual.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of ground that we're covering that's really been covered before. I mean, I think all three of the pieces are really something new. I mean, even my piece with the idea of ritual, I mean, there's a little bit of precedence for that in the musical world. But staging the Carter, that's completely new. And what you're doing with Anne is, I've never seen anything.
Text in a ballet form.
Yeah, I mean, the text is music. And that's really what we're saying here. Text is music. When you were listening to the Elliott Carter piece, it's a piece for 9 instruments and singer, but the singer has both notes and text, so really the singer is 2 instruments, because the text itself is a whole nother voice.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be a very exciting event. So, Musical Textual happening at Saul Joseph Recital Hall on August 21st and 22nd at 7:30 p.m.